Hit the ground running in 2024 by laying the foundations that you'll need in 2023. Hi, I'm Marielle, a corporate working mom with a master in psychology. Here I talk about all things motherhood, productivity, parenting, and relationships, so stick around if you want to see more of that. At the end of the year is where most people think about the year that has passed and what we want the next year to look like. We think about our dreams and our goals and what we want it to look like for the next months or even the next years. January is when most people start hitting the gym and having a fresh motivation to start fresh, lose all the weight, eat healthy, earn more, etc. But what if we start a little earlier and plant the seeds now for 2024? This time, I'm not waiting until next year to start working towards my goals. I'm already starting now, so that by the beginning of next year, I'm already set and I have already formed the habits that I need to achieve my dreams. It's no secret that motivation ebbs and flows. There are days when we just feel so inspired, so motivated, so energized, like we can just tackle anything that life throws at us. And then there are days when we don't. And it's just so difficult to get out of couch, get off our bed. So how do we make sure that we stay consistent despite not having the motivation or energy? Well, today that's what we're going to get into. So grab your beverage of choice and let's dive in. So the first is creating healthy habits, and cultivating healthy habits is such a big thing for me because, as I mentioned earlier, staying consistent to work towards our goals is easy when we are feeling motivated and inspired, but that's not always going to be the case. And this is where habits come in. So habits are behaviors that are automatic because we have always done them over and over again. And so this goes for both good and bad habits, which can be created intentionally or not. So for instance, you first wake up and then you go scrolling on your phone. And this can become an automatic behavior that's so difficult to shake off because you might not even realize that this has become automatic for you until you actually look into what you're doing first thing and then you see that. But just as bad habits are formed, we can also create healthy habits intentionally, which will help you to stay consistent no matter your mood or energy. And there are different ways that we can do this. The first thing is by sticking to doing the same habit over and over again on the same time of the day. So an example that I can think about is, for instance, you want to cultivate the habit of always drinking water first thing in the morning. So one way to do is, for instance, is to get up. First thing that you do is to go downstairs, go to your kitchen, grab yourself a glass of water, and drink first thing. And try to do this every day for a few weeks until it becomes a habit of yours. It'll become much easier to become a habit if you're always doing this first thing every single day. So the second thing that you can do is also through habit stacking. So what is habit stacking? Habit stacking is when you stack a behavior to an already established habit. So for instance, going with the water thing is, let's say that the water has already become a habit of yours, so it's already an established habit, and then you want to get into meditation. So what you do is, you first wake up in the morning, you pour yourself a drink and drink your water, and then right after your water, you stack it with going and doing meditation. So through stacking your meditation with your already established habit of drinking your water, it'll become almost like a trigger. So the drinking the water will become a trigger for you to start meditating. And so if you do this over and over again, always in the same way, always right after you drink your water, it'll become so much easier for you to do this every single day until it becomes a habit of yours. And it will just become an automatic thing that when you drink your water, you start meditating. And a third way is to make it enjoyable. So the reward that we get after a behavior is always very important and cannot be overlooked. So for instance, another example I can think about is you want to start getting into exercising. One way to exercise is through working out in the treadmill, walking in the treadmill. So we want to pair this together with a behavior that's enjoyable. So for instance, I really enjoy watching some kind of series in Netflix, and so I put that in front of me while I'm walking on my treadmill. It's going to be so much easier for me to even start the habit of walking on the treadmill because I know at the same time I can also watch my show. It will be so enjoyable because I might not even realize the time. I might not even notice what I'm doing because I'm just like so into the show, and I'm doing it at the same time while I'm walking and getting some workout in. So the next is managing your energy. We've all heard about time management time and time again, which is important, don't get me wrong, But not much has been said about energy management. But what is this exactly? So energy management involves knowing which times of the day are the best for you. So which times of the day are you most focused? Which times of the day do you have the most energy? And which times of the day do you have least amount of energy? It also involves knowing which tasks drain you and which ones energize you. It's also knowing which tasks require so much more energy for you and which ones don't require that much energy. So for instance, it's important to know whether you're a morning person, a night owl, or a third bird. So a morning person is someone who really thrives early in the morning. They have the most energy in the morning, they don't have any problem getting up early, and the only thing is that they struggle to stay up late at night. And conversely, a night owl is somebody who has no problem staying up late at night and maybe into the wee hours of the morning, but getting out of bed early in the morning is a struggle. A third bird is somebody who falls in between these two categories. So it's important to know in which category you fall into so that you're able to more effectively plan your day and also work with your body instead of against it. As a morning person, I do try to do my most difficult tasks early in the morning first thing because that's when I find that I'm most able to concentrate and focus. After lunch, I have a little bit of a dip, so I do try to schedule more meetings in there because I feel like I don't need to focus as much as doing like solo tasks on my own. And it's also helpful for my energy because it gives me a little bit of an energy boost when I'm surrounded by people. In the weekends, I also try to do after lunch something physical. So for instance, taking a walk or maybe cleaning the house, because if I don't and I just do something sitting down, I do tend to feel a little bit sluggish. I also tend to wake up early in the morning, no matter what, even in the weekend. And I also try to go to sleep early at night to make the most of my day. The next is planning ahead. I'm a planner. I like to think ahead and knowing what is happening when. But more than that, I find that it helps me really to stay accountable because knowing which events I have coming up, which appointments are scheduled when, and which tasks I need to get done when really helps me to maximize my time. So it depends on person to person how detailed you want your planning to be. Some people really thrive in knowing an hourly kind of schedule. 9 to 10, I have this coming up. 10 to 11, I have this other thing coming up. So they really have like an exact schedule. Other people, though, find it very constricting and they find that just having a list of things to get done works better for them. So it really depends on the person. For me, I'm kind of a combination of the two. I find that when I have more busy days, I do really like having a more detailed schedule. 9 to 10, I have this. 10 to 10:30, I have this coming up, and things like that, because it really helps me to maximize my time and not waste any of it. When I have a more relaxed day, then I find that just having a list of what I would like to get done or what things are coming up is already enough for me. Planning what to do when is really helpful, especially when you have specific goals that you want to reach. If you have a big goal, then you'll need to break it down into more actionable steps. So for instance, you want to travel to Peru next year. What are the steps that you'll need to take to be able to get there? So probably you'll have to set on a date, depending on what are the responsibilities you have at home or at work. If you're going with somebody, what works for them, what fits them too, you'll have to agree on that. You'll have to think about which cities you would like to visit. You will have to think about what is the weather like on that time, depending on the date that you choose. What are the things that you'll need to bring? You might also need to schedule a doctor's appointment, to have a checkup, to get your shots. You might also need to look into the visa requirements. What else would you need for going on a trip to Peru? You'll also need to see definitely how much your budget is and to also have a plan for that. There are a lot of things that you'll need to prepare before you get to that goal, so it's always important to plan ahead. So that's it. These are my top tips to stay consistent to reach your goals. So to reiterate, the first is to create healthy habits. The second is to manage your energy. And the third is to plan ahead. These are things that I've already started doing now so that by the time 2024 rolls in, I've already created momentum and I can keep going even when my motivation or energy goes down from time to time. Let's get ready to end this year with a bang and start the next year feeling fresh, feeling good, and ready to hit the ground running to achieve our goals. If you like this video, please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!